Hey everybody, and welcome to the Get Speaking English Coffee and Crossword stream. My name is Axel, and while we wait for the stream to begin, let me quickly explain how this activity works and give you some information that will help you do it. So, during the stream, we will go through a crossword similar to the one you see on the screen right now. I'm going to guide the conversation by letting you know which question will work on when. I'm going to explain the question to you, maybe give you some definitions, and then I'm going to give you additional clues, other information, hints, maybe some images to help you figure out the answer with me. So, when you think you know an answer, go ahead and put it in the chat. You'll be able to participate on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. The addresses are all available on the screen. So don't be shy if you think you know an answer. Put it in the chat, and when I see a correct answer, I will add it on the board and we will fill out the crossword together that way. So before we begin though, there are a few important rules that you should know specifically about this stream so we could all have a good time. So my first major rule is no cheating. So don't use the internet unless I tell you to. So we could Google the answers if we want or use websites. We're not going to do that though. We're going to work together instead. So please do not use the internet unless I tell you to do so. Secondly, please follow the conversation. So for example, if we are talking about question number 3, don't start talking about question 19. Also, too, please be patient. We may take some detours along the way. I love to talk about additional vocabulary, phrases, other things that are related to what's in the crossword. So just please be patient. Try to stay with the group and don't ruin it for others. Finally, please be nice to one another. Like I said, you'll be able to participate on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. But let's create a nice, friendly learning environment where people feel like they can participate without judgment and have a good time. So those are my main rules for playing this game. Now I'm going to give you some additional information specifically about this crossword to help you complete it. So the first useful thing to know is that this is an American crossword. So that means that American spelling and vocabulary is going to be used. So you can see on the screen right now some differences between American and British spelling. There are many others. This is just a small sample of some of the differences. There are also differences in the choice of vocabulary, in some of the phrases, some of the slang is different. So usually this crossword uses American English. It's also worth knowing that any of the trivia is usually about the United States, so about American history, American geography. However, we won't need to know much trivia. Thankfully, the majority of the questions in this crossword are about language, they're about English, so we won't need to know a lot about trivia. It's also really helpful to know that the answers match the questions. So the answers will always use the same type of word and the same word form as the word in the question. So for example, if there is a plural in the question, there will be a plural in the answer. If there's an abbreviation in the question, there will be an abbreviation in the answer. So all of that is extremely helpful. Sometimes you will see me put little S's or EDs in places, and that's just good information for us to know to fill out the board faster. Keep that in mind too when you are answering, that your answer should always use the same type of word and the same word form as the question. Also, multiple word answers are okay in this crossword. So sometimes the answer could be a phrasal verb, maybe part of a common phrase or an idiom, part of a sentence. Some of the longer ones are titles of books, titles of movies. This crossword does not indicate when something is a multiple word answer. However, I am usually quick to spot them. I will let you know if something is a multiple word answer, but do keep in mind when you are thinking about the answers to the questions that multiple word answers are possible. Finally, too, because we are here to review English, we're here to learn new words and vocabulary as well. It's important to know that there are words in this crossword that we can't really use in real life. So some of the words are just archaic, they're outdated, they're old-fashioned. Some of them are very formal or used only in very specific contexts. I will try to let you know if you can't use something, and I'll try to give you an alternative expression instead. I'll also let you know when you could use something in a specific context, but do keep that in mind that there are words in this crossword that even I, as a native English speaker, would never use in real life during a conversation. Anyway, so that's it. Like I said, don't be shy. Go ahead, jump in. The more you participate, the faster this crossword will go. So I do appreciate your help. Also, don't hesitate to ask questions about any of the words we talk about or any of the phrases we discuss. I always love having a good language discussion. So put your questions in the chat. I will try to address them. Finally, if you enjoyed this activity, please give this video a thumbs up. Also consider subscribing to the channel or following my Facebook page so you don't miss any future streams. Also, please tell other people about this stream. The more people we can get out, the better. It grows the community, and it will let me host even more free live streams, free events, and other additional affordable group activities for English learners. So thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate you being here, and I love when you participate. And get ready because we are going to start soon. Hello. Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Axel from Get Speaking English, and I am here to do a crossword. We're doing a crossword. Yay. So just like the little video said, I am going to direct the conversation. I'm going to let you know which question we are going to work on when. I am going to sort of explain the question. give you additional little clues and things like that to help you figure out the answer along with me. If you think you know what an answer is, put it in the chat. The best place to play is on YouTube. So I'm live right now on Facebook and Twitch as well, but it's a little bit slower there. So I definitely recommend hopping over to YouTube if you want to participate. That is where I watch the chat. And yeah, the more the merrier. I love when this goes quickly. Anyways, I know I never do this on Mondays. So, but here we are. I needed a new day. Monday might be the day. I'm not sure. But anyways, yeah. Let me know how your weekend went. My weekend was pretty good. I guess, yes, it was fine. It was a good weekend. Weather was really nice. So that was really good. It's actually sunny and pretty warm here. So that's really nice. It can be sunny and not warm here often. But it's been pretty sunny. So that's great. We are working on this crossword. I did look at it. Should be fine, I think. So let's get right to it, I guess. I'm not sure where to start. Let's see. Prof protector. Just looking to see a good one to start on. Kind of a band. Closes with a bang. Apart. Ugh. Alright. A lot of trivia. Oh, there's a lot of seasons in this one. So we're gonna test our knowledge of seasons. Goodness, what to start on? So I know what this one is, but I'm not sure if we are going to know what this one is. So I feel that it's going to be a hard one to start on. But let's do it anyways, I guess, because I don't know what else to do. So prof here, like a professor, that's what they mean. Prof is kind of short for professor. So basically a teacher at, university, usually that's where we would find a professor. And teachers, some of them will kind of work part-time or whatever like that, but a lot of teachers get whatever this is called, one down. I think I got it right. This is sort of like protection of their employment, if that makes sense. They get something, yeah, they're basically some sort of like a legal, it's like a legal thing that basically protects their job, protects a professor's job if they've been working, if they've been working for a really long time. Kind of. Basically, it's like a right to remain permanently in a job. So this is very common for professors to get, they get basically a full-time job. They have like this legal right to having that job, and it's protected for them. And I don't know if we're going to know this question or this answer, but it starts with a T. Probably going to be a new word for us, I think.
Tenure.
I need to switch my headphones. So there's a T in here. There's a T in here. That helps. I do not know this one. I know this one's a tricky one. This is definitely a tricky one. All of these are kind of tricky though. Yeah, and it's something definitely usually used for talking about professors, definitely, or teachers. So yeah, basically this legal right, they'll be able to keep that position for a long time. They're basically protected and they get sort of special rights. Anyways, the This one, tricky. This one is tenure. So, and I don't even know, like, how am I gonna put that in a sentence? But let's put it in a sentence. Here we go. Here's an example sentence. So she is one of the few people in the English department who has tenure. So she has, you know, she has like this permanent right to that job basically, whereas other people may just work sort of more on like a casual or actually like a contract basis. Usually teachers might work like on a contract, I think. so they'll work for, you know, maybe like a year or something like that, and they always have to redo their contract. Whereas somebody with tenure, a teacher with tenure, they have a permanent position as a teacher at a place. So they have a permanent job. So tenure. All right. So tricky one to like start off with. Yeah, all of these are kind of a little bit different, or a little bit tricky, because there are a lot of trivia. And hello, Imperator Neuron. I really enjoy your name. Really enjoy your name. Okay, well, we do have a U here though, so let's put this one in here. Let's try to get the easy ones. One of the seasons, so 14 across, one of the seasons, something U, something. I feel like this is like the current season we are in right now in the Northern Hemisphere, summer, exactly. And welcome, Majid. I don't know if I said that right. Sorry if I say your name's wrong. I'm really sorry, but welcome to the chat. Summer, definitely. I agree that is gonna be summer as well. So let's put that one in here. Summer, SUMMER. Fantastic. I know it's summer right now in the Northern Hemisphere. I don't know, we have anybody here in the Southern Hemisphere. Is it summer currently where you are? You're on the right side of the planet. Because I know I have Brazilian students, for example, and it is winter for them right now. The exact opposite. Okay, what else are we gonna do? Let's do this one, maybe historic times. So this one here, 17 across, something, R, something. So we're gonna have an S here, since there is an S in this clue here. But basically, we're looking for a word about, you know, specific, so maybe historical periods of time, let's say. Important periods of time in history, for example. And eras, exactly. I think eras is going to fit here. So let's put that one in here, eras, exactly. ERAS, and Turkey is summer. Yes, I bet it is really hot there right now in Turkey. Definitely. A lot warmer than here. Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, I know that Canada has a reputation for being cold. It's not cold everywhere, but where I am right now is a little cooler than other parts of Canada. So, and what else here? So we have a trivia thing. I don't think we're gonna get, I don't know, this trivia. Let's see, a band. Let's do this one actually. So fling can have a couple different meanings, but basically, sort of the, one meaning of fling though, is basically to throw something in the air. Oman is really hot. Yeah, I bet it is. Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay. Yeah. But if you fling something in the air, basically you throw it into the air. So we're looking for another word, basically, to T something. Something about throwing things in the air, basically. So maybe I can put fling into a sentence here. Oh, fling officially, to throw something or someone suddenly with a lot of force. That's probably the sun surface is cooler. Possibly, eh? Yeah, I would imagine it's very, very, very warm there for sure. Anyways, to fling. There you go, to fling. So he crumpled up the letter. Here we go. Crumpled up the letter and he... Oh, and the past is flung. That's interesting. To fling. Flung. Flung as an irregular verb. 40 centigrade. Yeah, Celsius. So cold. Or so not cold. So hot. To toss. Exactly. I think toss is going to go in here. So let's put toss. Toss. T-O-S-S. Awesome. Awesome. We're getting it. We're getting this little corner. And number 4. Let's check out 4 now. Foot anatomy. So, the anatomy of a foot. So, S something E. So part of the foot. I'm gonna say that this is probably maybe the word for the bottom of the foot. You know, the bottom of the foot that comes in contact with the ground. I think maybe that part of the foot. I'm guessing. So, whatever that is called. I suppose I could get a picture of a foot so we can see what that is. Dun, dun. And exactly, I think that's going to be the sole of the foot. So the sole of the foot. So just so we're all on the same page, we can see here the bottom of the foot. The part that would come down in contact with the ground, that is the sole, right? We have like the toes up here, like the little foot fingers, right? And then we have the heel. This is the back part there, and the ankle is the joint. The ankle is the joint where the foot attaches to the leg, basically. So sole, S-O-L-E, bottom of the foot there. Awesome job. And now I guess like the rest of these are going to be a little bit tricky. I don't know what this one. Closes with a bang though. 3 down. Closes with a bang. A bang is a very, very loud noise. So for example, like a gunshot would be a bang, or fireworks, those would bang, right? And we might also say too, you know, certain things in the house, if we close them very quickly, it would also make a very loud noise, a very loud bang, right? So, yeah, so I think, one thing in particular that would do that is, you know, a door. You know, if we close a door very quickly and with a lot of force, it would make a bang. It would make that really loud noise. So we're looking for another word. Basically, something about closing the door. You know, closing the door with a lot of force. So it makes noise. Slams, exactly. You were on it today. So great. Slams. We're going to slam the door. So shut it so it makes a very loud noise. Exactly. So I think that's what that one is going to be. S-L-A. That's awesome. Let's do 2 down. Kind of a show, or kind of a band, or a show. Yeah, because usually a band has a group of people, right? Maybe also like a show usually has a group of people, right? But I think this is like a little bit different. I think this is going to be 2 words. A something. I'm gonna get a picture about what this one is. So something about the amount of people in this show, in this band. I'm gonna get a picture. You know, some people might... This is a bit silly. This is a little bit silly, but, you know, instead of having like a group of people, you know, maybe somebody just, you know, straps all the instruments to themselves and like plays everything by themselves. Exactly, a one-man band. I think that's what this is gonna be. A one-man band, or maybe like a one-man show. Yeah. So let's do that one. So we have our one-man band. And then, gosh, I don't know what else we can do here. So we have some trivia. A bunch of trivia. I think we might be able to get this one, actually. This 21 across. So I've never seen a one-man show. Me neither. I think I've seen a one-man band once, actually, because sometimes they have they'll have like a buskers festival. And a busker is a person who performs usually music or magic. They usually do some sort of performance outside, and people leave them money. They leave them tips. I'm gonna get a picture of a busker so you can see what I'm talking about. Maybe, potentially. Let's see here. Maybe. Okay, here we go. Here is a busker. This is a musician. This guy's here. He's outside. He's playing the drums on a bunch of buckets, and people can watch. They can leave money. And that is a bucket. Just a second here. We call comedians one man. I mean, I suppose a comedian would also, you know, if it's one comedian doing a show, that's technically a one-man show. You know, so yeah, potentially we call it a one-man show. I would use it to describe the type of show, right? As opposed to a 2-man show, right? Where there would be maybe two people. Yeah, exactly. Their shows might be like a one-man show. Exactly. Like this guy, definitely a one-man band. Many times in movies, but I only know what they're called now. Yeah, the buskers. Yeah, so these are buskers. Yeah. Yeah, most comedians perform solo, so they're kind of like a one-man show, I guess, basically. But yeah. Let's see here. Right. So let's go back to let's do 21. 21 across. Capital, so BLDG. This here is building. It's short for building. And a figure here. We're talking about a person. So this is an American crossword. This is American crossword. So this is a reference to the government, basically. In the United States, there are types of people. There are like, 3 arms of government or something. And the one branch is basically a group of whatever these people are. So one person is part of the US government. And they get together at, what is it, Capitol Hill or whatever like that. I'm gonna get a picture. Maybe. Or maybe at least get a better... They're a type of as a type of politician. Sen for senator, exactly, senator. There you go, senator, sen. So let's put that in here, exactly. So the elected official, elected to the Senate. So senator, short for senator. And they are elected to a Senate, exactly. Gosh, and now we only have names and stuff. So I'll put it out to you guys. What do you guys think this is? So we have 12 Ryan of Paper Moon. So I have a funny feeling this is a type of a name, maybe. So let's maybe think of a name. Maybe that would go in here, like a last name, maybe, possibly. Yeah. Oh, and I think I know what this one is. Okay. Yeah, so if you could think of maybe a name for this one, what this one might be, let me know. And this one here, this role for Heston. So I don't know who Heston is, but I think that this role was also an important, was also, yeah, and I guess an important person in the Bible. I think that this is like a Bible reference. And now we're gonna like check my trivia. He was like a prophet, didn't he? Wasn't he the one that was like God gave him the oh gosh, I'm the worst. O'Neill. Yeah, I think this one's O'Neill. Exactly. O'Neill. Yeah, this guy was the one that was given like the tablets with like the deadly sins on it. Wasn't that it? Maybe. And he also parted the oceans or something. I'm terrible at trivia. Anyways. S.E.S. This character. The 10 Commandments. He was given the 10 Commandments. That's what I was thinking. Oh. Moses. Ah, exactly. So, okay. Let's put Moses in here. All right. Moving right along. Okay. Great job. All right. So I think that's gonna be that one. So we have some commotions. Yeah, let's do this one. 5 down. So this is a French word. Sometimes I love to sneak in kind of commonly known words from other languages, but we're looking for like a French word here. A French word for friend. You happen to know what that one is? So the French word for friend. Because I feel like a lot of English speakers would know this one. So, and sometimes we also sneak in little French phrases and stuff into our speaking, kind of on rare occasions. But this would be one that might that we might use from time to time. The French word for friend. Ami, exactly. Yeah, I think it's gonna be ami. So let's put that one in here. A-M-I. Ami. A-M-I. Okay. Go us. July for one. Forward. Yeah, July 21. No, not 21. 10 across. 10 across. We have an M here. Something. July is an example of one of these. Right? There's kind of like, there's 12, at least, you know, for us, there's 12 of these in the year, right? So, you know, July is one. There's, you know, June is another one. September, maybe. December. They're all months, exactly. So July, I think that's gonna be month. Let's put month in here. M-O-N-T-H. All right. We're doing pretty good. Really good here. Playing many venues. All right. Let's do this one. The first 11 down. So a rhino feature. So a rhino type of animal, right? A rhino, short for rhinoceros. So rhino, short for rhinoceros. And they have one very distinct feature, something that makes a rhinoceros a rhinoceros. I'm just gonna get a picture here so we're all on the same page. Exactly, we have like a horn. It has a horn, exactly. A horn on its nose or horn on its head. H-O-R-N. Perfect. Yeah. This one has 2 horns. You can see. But yeah, that is what we would call those things. Banjo music. Playing many venues. Dun dun. Yeah, maybe we could do this one. Let's do this one. 7 down. Playing many venues. This is sort of like referring to music. Referring to music. A musician. You know, when bands or musicians go around the world playing many venues. Venues being places where you would play, a music venue. So a venue is a place, you know, where you would play your music so people could come and see. So when bands or musicians go around the world playing many venues, they are something N, something. What we might say. Let's say that they're kind of like traveling around, going to all the different places. They're on tour. Exactly. On tour. O-N-T-O-U-R. Exactly. So on tour, maybe to like promote an album usually. That's what they might do. Very common for them to go on tour when they have something new just released so they can promote their music. Exactly. All right. Yeah, we're doing a great job. Awesome job. All right. 13 across. So 13 across. A foreword. I think you would find a foreword in a book, usually. Or maybe like something that you're reading, right? So you find like a foreword in a book, for example, or maybe, yeah, usually like a book or something. And it's sort of like, maybe like text that you might find. Some sort of like a short piece of writing, maybe that comes at the beginning of the book, maybe. Maybe it gives a little extra information or something like that about the book. So we're looking for like another word, maybe, that could also describe this type of passage. An intro, exactly. I-N-T-R-O. So an intro, exactly. Short for introduction. Exactly. Another little detail here too. The foreword's usually written by somebody who was not the writer of the book. So maybe somebody else, just to give them a little bit of information, a little extra information, or say a little something about the work. But that would be a foreword. Exactly. Introduction. Perfect. Alrighty. What else we got here? All right, we're not gonna know what this one is. But we might maybe know this one. Makes banjo music. So we're gonna have an S here. We're gonna have an S here. A banjo is an instrument. It's a stringed instrument. Or a string instrument. Similar to a guitar, right? And there's this word that we use. Basically plays a stringed instrument by kind of like maybe running your hands or your fingers kind of up like over the strings. I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, basically to move your fingers across the strings of the guitar, or in this case, a banjo. I'm gonna get a picture of a banjo so we can see what it is. Possibly. All right, here's a banjo. So we can see here. So we got this banjo. We have like a couple little strings here. And yeah, to play this, so you would run your fingers up and down over the strings in order to play it. And strums, exactly. You strum a string instrument like this. So so strums. It's going to be our answer here. Strums. So, exactly. So to strum, move your fingers across the strings of a guitar or a similar instrument. So that's what we call that style of playing a stringed instrument. So very cool, very cool. Great little word. So strums. All right. And I'm just gonna put this in here. Well, actually, Any guesses as to what this one is? This word, like, so a commotion is basically sort of like a period of activity, like an event, for example, where there's a lot of maybe like movement and a lot of things going on. Maybe like a party or a festival, for example. Could also be used sort of like in a sort of a negative sense, where maybe there's some sort of a disruption or something, like an argument or something. That can also be a commotion. But this one here, this is going to be a do's, which nobody uses. So, although there's one phrase where I would use this maybe. And that is, I would use ado in the phrase much ado about nothing. And we would use this phrase to say that there's like a lot of like activity or worry or excitement than something deserves. So here, I'm gonna put this in a sentence here. So I had the feeling that the 3D experience would be much ado about nothing. So they figured that it was going to be they were making way more of a fuss about it than it needed. So, or here as well too, here's another example. So in the end, it all seemed like much ado about nothing, as people got worried or really upset about this thing and that didn't really need it. So they basically over exaggerated, basically. So much ado about nothing. So that's kind of a great little phrase that I might use from time to time. So much ado about nothing. All right. Anyways, let's get back to the words that we do know and that are useful. Another season. 18 across, one of the seasons. So another season. I think this one comes after summer. If you happen to live in a place with 4 seasons. So another season. Autumn, exactly. Yes, I think that this is autumn as well. And sometimes too, depending on where you are, we might also call it fall, but autumn is the official word for it. Exactly. Alrighty. Alrighty, what else do we got here? So not new, great, wait, up parts. Alrighty. Not new, not used. 19 down. So if something is not new, say maybe an object or an article of clothing, and you buy it, if you buy maybe almost like a secondhand article of clothing or an object, you might say it is whatever this is. I think autumn feels prettier than fall in some way. Yeah, autumn definitely, I feel like it makes you think about like the changing of the leaves and all of that, right? So, it's a very nice word. I would notice too, because I know there's this like N here, but it's just autumn. So we don't pronounce the N. Autumn. Just like that. Maybe used. Exactly. Used. Used. Used with a Z sound too. Exactly. Alrighty, so we would say that it's used, not new. Yeah, we're doing awesome. Awesome. Shop grasper, not sure. Okay. But I think we could do this one. 20 down. A great weight. Here we mean great as in really huge. Or really big. So we're looking for a weight, something. Basically like a measurement of weight. A measurement, like a unit of measurement, basically. For measuring something that is extremely heavy. Let's say. Something like that, right? So something really heavy, really big, we would probably use this unit to measure the weight, right? A ton, exactly. Yes, a ton, T-O-N. And notice too the spelling because this is an American crossword, so American spelling, but we can spell it T-O-T-O-N-N-E if we're doing British spelling. Ton, exactly. So a ton is what we want here. Let's see, Las Vegas team. Let's do cap parts. So no, cap can have a couple different meanings, but here I think a cap, we're talking about a hat, a type of hat, like maybe like a baseball hat, for example. And they have they have this specific look to them, right? You got like the part that goes over the head, sure, but then there's this part that goes over your eyes, right? You can see here this baseball cap, right? This part here that shields your eyes basically from the sun and stuff like that, right? And this part, or these parts of a baseball cap that shields your eyes from the sun. These parts are of a name. They have a name. So, could be a new word for us, maybe. There's also other hats too that sort of have a similar thing. This one also. See people wearing these in like tennis or whatever like that. But this thing as well too, we can see that it also has one of these things. Tricky. So it shields your eyes from the sun. It protects your eyes from the sun. So that's what we mean by shield. You shield something from something, you protect it from something. Usually by covering it, for example. In this case, we're creating some shade. This part of the cap is called a visor. A visor, V-I-S-O-R, a visor. Yeah, so baseball caps, they have a visor, or this I would call a sun visor, probably. So visor, part of the helmet. That's not what I'm looking for. Yeah, curved piece of stiff material worn above the eyes to give protection from strong light. A visor is also, I'm going to show you another visor as well too. We find a visor in the car as well. this thing here that you pull down to protect yourself, to like shield your eyes from the sun when you are driving. This is also called a visor. So that is also just like an interesting word. So that's what we called it, a visor. So anyways, moving right along. Let's see what else we got here. That's not trivia. Let's do this one here. 23 down, a flying mammal. I believe that there's really only one. Something, but a mammal. A mammal is a type of animal. They're warm-blooded, right? Of animal, warm-blooded. Usually have hair. We are mammals, for example. You know, cats and dogs are mammals. And this one in particular, this one flies. It is a flying mammal. They come out at night. They are nocturnal. Little nocturnal little guys. Usually. I'm gonna get a picture. A bat, exactly. Bat, B-A-T. So let's do that. Apparently there are like so many different species of bats. Like, so many different ones. Okay. What else can we do here? Dun, dun, dun. Let's do... Hello, welcome, Ollie. Welcome. Figuring out what else to do. Let's do... You know what? Let's do this one. Another season. 29 across. I think this is like the coldest season. It's like the opposite of summer. Whatever that one is called. Winter. Exactly. Winter. W-I-N-T-E-R. Let's pop winter in here. Got some winter going on. Let's see if I can try to like get some more info in here so this becomes kind of easy. 31 across. An industrious insect. Industrious. We can kind of see the word industry in here, right? Anything industrious, very busy, means that you're very, very busy, very productive, maybe builds a lot of things, or creates a lot of things. That's basically what we mean by something being industrious. Yeah, I think that there will be spring in here somewhere too, as well. So bees definitely are kind of industrious. Yes, definitely. We need a vowel here, though. We need a vowel here. So I think that something else starts with a vowel. Because we need a vowel here. But a similar, well, I don't know, similar, but definitely another insect that lives in very large colonies, for example. Ant, exactly. Yeah, I think this is going to be an ant. Exactly. They're notorious for building really big, anthills and very elaborate labyrinths of tunnels and things like that. They're very industrious, we might say. They work very hard. Yeah. Anything industrious works very hard. So let's put ant in here, A-N-T. And another insect. Another insect here. I think you can see this whole thing. Maybe you can. A hornet. Okay, so 29 down. Hornet's kin. Something that is something that is akin to something else is related to that thing. So we're looking for another insect that is related to a hornet. An insect that's related to a hornet. W-A something something. And I'm going to show you what a hornet looks like. Actually, both of these animals are related to the insect that you guys thought the last answer was. So, and they kind of get a bad rap as being kind of, you know, dangerous because they'll sting you and stuff like that. So this is a hornet here. Wasp, exactly. I think this is going to be a wasp. W-A-S-P. Yeah, they got little stingers, unfortunately. But exactly. I wonder where it is. You're probably right. There is probably spring in here somewhere. We find it. Dun dun dun. 3D32. There we go. Okay, let's put it maybe one of the seasons. 32. The one that we have left. 32 across. I'm gonna say the last season, the one that we haven't written in yet. I think we can pop it in. Spraying, yeah, exactly. Yeah, let's just get that out of the way. There you go. Okay, they're all in here now. All in here. Sometimes these crosswords have themes and stuff, so that's why I also like doing these ones. Sometimes they have themes. Inflexible. Danger. Let's do this one. Like some windshields. So a windshield. You find a windshield in a car. Right? So it's kind of the part that you see out of, right? Right, the part you see out of in the car. And some windows these days, like windshields and windows, some windows and windshields these days have, you know, they kind of have a covering that prevents people from seeing inside the vehicle, if that makes sense. So we say that they have something, I-N, something, windows. There's a word for that. When they're kind of darkened a bit. You can't see inside. Now, trying to get a picture for us. Okay, here we go. So this car, I mean, this isn't the windshields, right? But we can see here that these windows are a bit darker. They kind of have this, almost like this film. Makes it hard to like see inside. And there's a word for that. Hey, Salita, over on Twitch. Hey, welcome. We're doing the crossword. The best place to play is over on YouTube. So, but also note that this activity is for people who are learning English as a second language. So, so if that is something that you're interested in, YouTube is the place to play. I think the info is on the screen somewhere. Tinted! Tinted windows, exactly. They have tinted windows. Tinted. Perfect. Tinted windows. Tinted. Is what we're gonna call them. Perfect. Great job. All right. 24 across. 24 across. Poked fun at. So great little idiom here, to poke fun, to poke. You say if you poke fun at something. So if you poke fun at something, it kind of means that you make jokes about that thing. So I think we're looking for another word. Oh, and we can see here too that this is a past, that this is conjugated in the past, right? So this is also, our answer is also going to be some sort of past form of this verb. So T is something, A is something. We have the D here, so we can see that it's probably a regular verb, but also means, made fun of, let's see, or maybe joke, teased. Exactly. I think teased is going to be our answer. Teased. Made fun of. We're so on it today. Awesome. 25 down. And Selena, how has my day been so far? My day has been pretty good. It is very early here, so this is pretty much the only thing I've done. But it's going good. How's your day going? Great. 25 down? Yeah, we could do 25 down. We're looking for, so whole here, right? Basically means like all of something, right? So I think we're just basically looking for a synonym for this, for that, right? Basically a synonym. It's complete, right? With nothing missing, maybe. Something like that. We might, for example, ate the whatever, and something, cake, because I was really hungry. Entire, exactly, entire. I ate the entire cake because I was hungry. Or the whole cake. All right, IRE. I wonder what this is. I'm not sure. Oh, I see what it is. A fish feature. So now we're going to talk about fish. I think. Yes. Something you would find in a fish. Something that fish, I want to say, only have. Something that makes a fish. I mean, there's a couple things that make a fish. But this feature, I think, helps the fish swim. So this part of the fish helps it move forward in the water. Let's describe it like that. So the things that help propel it forward through the water. So propel it forward, or push it forward, propel. A fin, exactly. I'm gonna get a picture maybe, so we're all on the same page as to what that is. Dun, dun, dun. Maybe. There we go. There's a fish. They also have gills, although gill is going to be G-I-L-L. Those are the things that they use to breathe. F-I-N. We have these little things. Here, sort of on its, almost like its hands, but it doesn't have hands, right? Also, we have sort of like fins on the back here. The tail also has fins. So, yeah. So let's put fin in here and spell. There we go. All right. Yeah. So close. Let's do this one. 38. Sorry, 38. 38. Another, a more advanced word for danger. Sort of an advanced vocabulary word. P-E-R-I. Something, but also means it's danger. So, the very great danger. Like, so, like something extremely dangerous, basically. And we might say that something is in whatever this is. For example, you know, I thought my life was in whatever this word is. Kind of a fancy word, tricky one, maybe. Peril, exactly. Very dangerous, P-E-R-I-L. There we go, peril. Da, da. 40. Can you see 40? We can see 40. So 40 across. To turn down. If you turn down something, you might turn down a request, for example. Which basically means that you say no, right? So another word about saying no to things, basically. So we might also say you might, whatever this request. What to say? Something. Yeah, you basically say that you don't want to do it. Basically say no. Deny, exactly. You might deny something. Basically not allow somebody to do something or have something. Deny. All right. There we go. Last but not least, one little letter down here. 36 down, we have to take wing. To take wing. If you take wing, that means you maybe go from the land to the air, for example. Like a bird would take wing, for example, right? A bird might take wing. Most birds, not penguins. Bird might take wing. Basically means it goes into the air. And it does this activity. Something L-Y. We might also say that planes do this as well, too. You know? Something about moving through the air. Fly, exactly. If you take wing, you fly. So that's a great little idiom there, to take wing. Another way to say fly here. And yeah, we have this one here. 34 was inflexible. So something inflexible is not flexible. Something flexible bends very easily. So something that does not bend very easily and is maybe what we could call rigid is stiff. Very stiff. You might feel stiff after doing a lot of exercise, you know, if your muscles tense up or whatever, or maybe you feel stiff after sitting all day, you have a hard time moving. That means that you're the opposite of flexible. All right. Let's do, I know we have this here. So let's just, I want to do this one, the shop grasper. I know usually we think about a shop as a place like a store, right? So that's usually what we think of when we think of a shop, right? We think of a store, a place you can buy something. But we also use the word shop to refer to maybe a garage, for example, like where a mechanic works, right? Like where the mechanic works, for example. Here we're talking about a mechanic shop or a mechanic garage. So a place where they would work on cars and things like that, or maybe also wood or something like that, like a carpentry shop or something. So a place where you would do that kind of activity. And this grasper is something that grasps. You can kind of see the word grasp in here, which basically means to hold on to something. So we're looking for a device, basically, like a tool that we would use to hold on to something. And a vise, exactly. I'm gonna get a picture of this thing, just so you can see what it looks like. So we're all on the same page. This is a vise. Exactly. It grips the thing, grips whatever your material, so you can work on it. So let's put vise in here. V-I-S-E. Perfect. And let's just do this one really quickly. So I know this is trivia. We don't really do trivia. But a Veep, we mean the vice president. Veep here. President. He was also president for a while of the United States. So vice president during Obama's presidency. And then he was also president for a while as well. Biden, exactly. So let's put Biden in here. And then we got the middle done. Perfect. And the Raiders are a football team. Like an American football team, I think. Yes. Okay. We're doing so great. Modem speed unit. What else we got here? Sully's. I don't know. What part? One part. Defeated, but barely. Let's do this one. Let's talk about feet again. So this one's a 3-letter word. We got a 3-letter word, part of the foot. I know, I think I mentioned this before when I was talking about the image of the foot. 3-letter word. I think these are like the little, you know, people have, they're like the little ends of the foot, kind of like the fingers, I think. Yeah, I think this one is going to be toe. Exactly. Let's do toe. T-O-E. Let's do that. T-O-E. Part of the foot. Going to be a toe. Pound part. I wonder if we know this one. Maybe. Let's do Guinness lock. Okay, let's do 33 down. 33 down. So a scheme, basically. A scheme. If you have a scheme, basically you have a, maybe like step by step, whatever this is, to accomplish something. Like you know what you have to do, sort of like when you have to do it. You have everything. It's almost like a schedule of things to do. Exactly. I think this word's going to be plan. Plan is going to be another word for scheme. And I say too, because I'm using this as a noun, but we can also use both of these as verbs as well. To scheme to do something. You can scheme to do something, or you can plan to do something. Usually a scheme, though, is a little bit more, I'm going to use a fancy word, nefarious, a little bit. So maybe you might scheme to do some trouble, or maybe do like a prank, or maybe something you shouldn't do. A scheme, maybe. Anyways, yeah, so close. Joust, need. You know what it is? Who would joust? Knights would joust. Knights would joust back in the day. I got a picture of what it is here. So knights, like in medieval times, right? Would joust. It's sort of like a form of entertainment where they get on horses and race at each other, holding these really big, these pointy sticks, and they try to knock each other off their horses. Like, sort of in this illustration here, you can see here, right? The knights in shining armor, and they are holding these weapons. This word here, this answer, is the name of this weapon. So let's see if I can get maybe a better picture. It's almost like a really big spear. Okay, here we go. Here it is. Here's a bit of a better image of this horse. It's got this really long, this long weapon. And they would run at each other and try to like knock the other person off their horse, basically. There is a C in this. We get a latch here. Latch is something else. A latch, I can show you what a latch is. A latch is something we might use to close something. Like kind of like the lock it. Like a door would have a latch, for example. It's kind of like a closing mechanism. Here, for example, here's a door latch here. Maybe on a gate. Does have a C in it though. There is an A in it as well. So I'll put the A here. Tricky word, eh? Tricky. I know you guys are good, so I'm doing some of the harder ones. So we could really test our vocabulary. All right, so this thing is called a lance. Lance. A lance. So you would use a lance when you are jousting. Lance. There we go. What is a lance? All right. What else do we got here? Prepare for a jolt. Let's do. If you played a role, where would you play a role? You might play in a theater production, for example, or on a TV show, or maybe even in a movie, right? So if you played a role in any of these, you might have something. Again, this is going to be the past form of whatever this verb is. So basically, was in a theater production or a TV show, something like that, or a movie maybe. You basically played a part in it. Acted, exactly. Heading off. I hope you have a really good day. Thanks so much for coming out. Really appreciate it. You're a great help. Have a really good one. ACTED, acted, exactly. All right, acted. Nice. So close. Have a good one. Yeah, let's do this jolt one, because this one also might be a little bit tricky. So, a jolt, what would jolt you? Electricity would jolt you. A jolt is kind of like an unpleasant, maybe like shock or something. Or like to be like really quickly like shaken kind of violently. There we go. So to jolt, there we go, means to cause somebody to move very suddenly and violently, maybe like push them and their body jolts or something like that. So if you know, for example, that you were about to get pushed, for example, or maybe you were going to experience something really unpleasant, you might, whatever this is. So if you know you're about to get pushed or experience some pain, you might, whatever this is, something, R-A-C, something for it. Or you might, we might also say, you might, we'll use this yourself, you might say something like that. So basically to prepare for, like, you kind of maybe like tighten up your body, for example. And just like get ready. You prepare yourself physically or maybe mentally for something unpleasant, basically. So we're so close. So close. There is the E here. The E is correct. There is an E. So close. Maybe I'll put this in a little sentence. Brace, exactly. Let me say. She told me she had some bad news for me, and I braced myself for the shock. I prepared myself to receive that bad news. Exactly. So brace. Let's put that in here. Brace yourself for something. I'll put this in another sentence so we can just see it again. So time seems to stand still as you brace yourself for the impact. So, you know, you're anticipating it and you're just like, oh, getting ready. Brace. So, alrighty. What else? Oh, we're so close to being done. Let's do this one. These pound parts. Pound. We're back to a pound. Another unit of weight. Right? We had ton earlier, right? Here's pound. Another unit of weight. And a pound can be divided into something, NCE, something. Can it be divided into whatever these are? The unit of weight equal to approximately 28 grams. I didn't know that. So, whatever that is. Ounces. Exactly. Divided into ounces. So that word is ounce. Just for the pronunciation, so we got it there. An ounce, exactly. And a pound. So close to being done. Da, 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 da. This one's a tricky one, eh? This modem speed unit. Let's do this one though. Sullies. Sullies is not a great word. But basically, if you sully something, you kind of ruin it. You ruin it a bit. So you take it from being good and you kind of make it not as good. So there's another word that we might use. And we can see that there's an S here. So let's put the S here. Another word here that basically means, you know, makes something not as good. Ruins it a little bit. Basically, it's like kind of like impure maybe or something like that, right? Or kind of like you damages the quality a little bit, right? Spoils it a little bit maybe. I'm going to put this in a sentence because I feel like that might help us a little bit. I'm going to change the verb form though. Here we go. So his reputation was permanently, whatever, usually like permanently ruined a little bit. Ruined by the financial scandal. So some sort of bad situation. Tainted, exactly. So taints, I think. Is what this gonna be? We're almost close then. I don't know which one's better. Defeated, but barely. And something about modems. I feel like this is like a very uncommon. I don't know much about modems. So let's maybe try this one. Defeated but barely. Something, a word we might use to say maybe something is just like a little bit, maybe it's a little bit closer to something than something else, maybe. I might use this more for like, almost to describe like movement. Yeah, it's edged. Yeah, so let's do that. Yeah. There we go. And we did it. Great. Awesome. Great job, guys. Oh, whoa. Good job, everybody. So great to see you guys. It was so nice to have so many people out. I really appreciate your help. It was so good to see you guys all. Yeah, so I hope you guys maybe learned a couple new words. There were a couple interesting things in here. And a good review of some other things. Anyways, I'll probably be back next Monday for another crossword. I think that Mondays, I'm usually fairly free Monday morning. So I'm going to try it again next Monday. So you're welcome to come out again. 1300 UTC. As always, if you are interested in working with me directly, do some conversational classes, you're more than welcome to send me a message. Probably the best way to get a hold of me is Telegram, honestly. So we visited Axel at Get Speaking English, or Axel of Get Speaking English. You can also send me an email. But sometimes they get lost. So right now I'm talking about this interesting article with a lot of people actually about, what is it? I'm going to bring it up really quickly. This one here, this really interesting article. ChatGPT is pushing people towards mania, psychosis, and death, and OpenAI doesn't know how to stop it. So if you would like to talk specifically about this article with me, and practice your English, just mention therapy and ChatGPT in your message when you message me. All right, thanks everybody. I hope you all have a really good week, and I will see you all next Monday. Bye everybody. Have a good one.